In this video, I'm going to make a power up that actually scales the character's head. And I'll show you how to scale other things like how to make them really tall or just really big, things like that. And there's a few things you could do, but why not make him have a really big head? Brah. And he can run real fast too, as long as his head's big. But now that his head shrank, he's back to normal. The power up wore off. I thought that'd be pretty cool. This is in my beginner series. I'm going to do 8 really easy videos that I think are useful, but you don't have to do them in order. Let's go ahead and get started with Big Head Power Up. I have an empty base plate in my Roblox studio. I'm on the Home tab, and I'm going to add a sphere to my game. Basically, a part, right? So here's the part. Hit the little arrow, and then hit Sphere. And I'm going to call this Power Up. Power Up. There we go. Let's change the color and the size of this so it matches the demo. I'm going to make it green, straight, and then I'll keep it plastic. Let's go down to size. I'll make it 1 by 1 by 1. 1 by 1 by 1. So 1 comma 1 comma 1 for the X, Y, and Z. If you open that little size, that little arrow there, you can see the X, Y, and Z. Sweet. That's about the height I want it. So I'm not going to change the position. I'll be able to touch it. The players will be able to touch it in the game. I'm going to turn Can Collide off so you can run right through it so it doesn't stop you, but I don't want it to fall. So I'm going to get anchored and I'm going to click that on, right? So anchored will be true or checked. Let's go ahead and save off our game. I'm going to go up to game settings here. Click that, save to Roblox, and I'll call this something like, how about Big Head Power Up, right? And we'll do team create. I'll turn that off. Data sharing, the AI stuff. Nah, I don't. Then hit save. There we go. And then we'll do close. Now I'm going to put this in a model called lesson 2 so I can keep it like my demo. And I made this game copyable. I'll put the link in the description. You could download it and open it in Roblox Studio. Then you go to like lesson 2, you'll see power up. It'll be called the same. And then the script's going to be called the same. You can call these whatever you want, but I want people to be able to look it up in case they need a reference. So let's go ahead and right click power up. I'm going to make it a model, group as model. And then we call that lesson 2. Lesson 2. Sweet. Let's open this back up. And I'm also going to put a script on this. All right. This is scripting tutorial. Hit the plus. Frequently used, I have it as script. If you don't have it, SCR. There we go. Script. And then I called this power up in the demo also. You might want to call it power up script or something like that. You got to be careful having too many things called the same thing, even though they're all kind of working together. Now let's get a variable in our script that references our part. I'm going to get rid of this print statement. We don't need it. So I just hit a delete. And then I'm going to make a variable called PowerUp. That makes sense. And I'm going to use the keyword script that references the script. And then I'm going to say dot parent because the script is attached to the part. And that's what we want is the part. Let's see the function. How about local function? And I'm going to call this on touch because it's going to handle my on touch events from my power up part. Other part is going to be the part that touches our power up. And let's just hook this up so we don't forget it. We got our power up and then we have our touched event. Connect that to on touch, right? Now you're not going to have to you don't have to pass any arguments in here. You just need the function name. And then Roblox is going to know what touched the part. And we'll pass in the part that touched it, like the hand or the foot or the head or whatever in other part. Now this part is similar to the last video. We are going to check to see if the other part is associated with the character. So maybe we'll call this maybe char, right? It might be a character. It might not be a character. So we'll say other part. If that's like a hand or a foot, dot parent, that would be a char. Let's put a print statement now too, just to make sure that our on touch event is firing when we hit the part. So I'm going to say on touch, and then this will be the other part. See what touched our part. Go ahead and check it. Make sure everything's working as expected. View output so we can see our stuff here. And there's our little part. Boom. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff touching the part. Cool. Right lower leg, right upper leg. You get the idea. Let's go ahead and turn this off. I will close my output window, go back to my power up. Now we got to check to make sure that our maybe char is actually a char. So we should look for, say, a humanoid, right? Characters have humanoids. And I'll say maybe char. So the humanoid will equal maybe char. We're not sure if it's there. So I'm going to say find first child, which is going to go down one level from the character, and check to see if there's a humanoid in there. There might not be. So I'll say if we found one, and then that variable will have the humanoid. If we don't, it'll be nil, and that's considered false. So we'll skip out of the if statement. So if it does exist, if the humanoid does exist, we could say hum dot, and we have something called walk speed. The normal walk speed is 16. Let's make it 32. Let's double the walk speed, or maybe make it 50, make it even cooler, right? I have 32 in the demo, right? So we'll do 50 though. That'd be more fun. All right, there's my little part. Let's check to see if we have any errors. Boom, yeah, we're definitely running. Sweet. Now, if you didn't get that, go ahead and let's turn off the game here, take a look at the code, close this, close the output, make sure that's spelled right, right? Because you won't get an error. It'll just not work, right? You just won't find the humanoid. Now, most of you know how to do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at what a humanoid looks like so we can do some scaling, right? So there's my part. I'm just going to move over a little bit. And I'm going to go to the avatar tab right here. I'm going to add a rig. So rig builder, and I'll just do R15. It'll work on both. We'll do my avatar. Sweet. Let's open it up. Take a look at the humanoid. There's my humanoid. But look at it this way. Open up that little arrow thing. Just click on the arrow. Oh, look at that. We have body scaling stuff. And I'm going to do the head scale. But you could do proportion. Sometimes I like to do the height. Make them like tall and skinny or something. Maybe with a big head, tall and skinny. That's cool. How do we add that? Let's go over to our power up. And then right under walk speed, we have the humanoid. We need to get to this head scale, right? So let's do hum, and you could do something like wait for child or whatever to get a reference. But usually the head scale is right where you expect it in the humanoid. And then what we need to do is a dot value because these are number values, right? So number values are a little bit different than just the number. You have to do the dot value. And we're going to double the size. If you look down here, you might not see this is kind of small. It says value equals 1. If we double the head size, the head's going to go twice as big. If we triple it, it'll be 3 times as big. I did double in the video, in the demo. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Boom, that's pretty cool. That's cooler. I actually should have done the demo with that. Nice. And will the height be the same, right? So we have something here. Play around with these. Let's do body height scale, right? And then I'll remove it, but I want to show you that it's the same way. So we'll do hum, and then we could do body height scale. Oops, dot value. You will forget that. Everybody does. And normally that will be 1. So we could like double his size. There we go. How about make him 2 there? Hit the play. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Now, it's not going to persist when you die. You're going to have to do some saving for that, which I think that's going to be in the 9 through 16 videos, like data stores and stuff. Let's go ahead and respawn just so you see. Boom, he's going to come back regular size. There we go. There's other ways to do it, too. There's a lot of ways. All right, I'm liking it. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Go back to our script. Now, I think what I want to do is destroy the pellet. We're going to consume the pellet. In the last video, we destroyed the player's head. Now, let's go ahead and get the power up. And then we'll do the destroy on that. It'll disappear. Now you have to remember, if you're playing a sound on that, and we're going to handle that in the next video, it's going to destroy the sound before it plays if the sound is on the power up. Let's also just wait a period of time. So let's say task, wait, and this is how long you're going to have your powers and your big head. So because it's a video, I'm going to put 5 seconds, but you might want to make it like a minute or something like that, or 5 minutes, which would be like 300 seconds. So we do our task dot wait. Now, I want the head to shrink back down. Let's just do a simple resize. So we're going to let's just do this. Copy this, Control C, and then Control V, and then we'll make that 1, right? And I don't think I'm going to do body scale. You could do that the same way. You just copy it, make it a 1, right? Just work with the head. And then we'll make our walk speed, after that 5 seconds, we'll make our walk speed back to normal. What is normal? Well, you could actually just look at the rig and see what that has. I believe it's 16. Let's take a look at our humanoid. Scroll down to walk speed, 16. I actually did know that, right? But I'm showing you how to find stuff. Like if you want to increase the health too, you could do that. You can make the max health 200 or whatever to double it. And then there's a health. This is the actual health they have, right? So the max health, you'd have to increase that to like 200 and then increase that to 200. So you wouldn't have to build up to it with a health script, which we are not going to do in this video, but you should know that it exists. Let's play. And then we'll go to view output. We're going to consume our pellet. Boom. It just has the big head. It should last about 5 seconds. And then pop down to normal. And then he's running normal. And now what I think we could do, let's go back to our script. Now let's make it so that you could see the head shrink down to normal size, and we don't know loops yet and we don't know tweening yet. So I'm just going to copy some code here. We're going to do this iteratively. I'm going to need some little weights, right? So I'm going to do a Control C. The head scale, let's go from 3 times the size of his normal size of his head down to, I don't know, 0.28. We're going to get down to 1. That's the original. Now we're going to do a little weight, but we're going to do it really, really short. This is 5 seconds. You could make it as low as, I believe the current heartbeat speed, you can look this up if you're interested, it's 0.03. But the default is the heartbeat speed. So you don't have to put anything in there. All right, let's go ahead and copy this. We need to get it down to 1, and 10 will do it. Yeah, 10 will do it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, hopefully my counting is right. This is why in the demo, I only did it to 2. I foresaw this, but now we're already filming, so I'm just going to go down to 0.26, the normal head size, 0.24, 0.22. See, we're slowly shrinking. It's going to be a little bit choppy. When you learn other stuff, you can make it smoother, right? There we go. 1.6, 1.4, 1.2, and 1.0. That's the right size, right? Or you could just do 1, right? All right, let's try it out. You want to keep that here? Sure, we can keep that here. Gets down to the normal size, and then 0.03 seconds later, boom, back to normal walk speed. Let's hit play. And we'll go view, output, and hit our little power up. Boom. Let's see that shrink down. So see if it's choppy, if it's too choppy. No, that wasn't bad. It was very Robloxy. That'll work. I thought that was cool. All right, so you got a pretty decent power up here. Good luck with that. I will see you in the next video.